Hi guys, welcome to the video. Today we're doing something really lovely and we are playing with ink. The first thing I want to show you is this new brass dip pen. So it is a gorgeous pen. I got this from St. Louis Art Supply. I've seen Brittany from Carrots and Olives use this all the time to swatch her inks. So I thought it would be a really nice addition for a few reasons, and I'll just show the pen first. It comes in this really beautiful packaging as well, and then this is the nib holder. So you buy them separately. You can buy a wooden one, this is the aluminium or aluminum one, and then this is the brass nib. So it's a different construction than any other nib that I've seen. So it sort of creates this little well, and when you dip it in, it fills up with quite a lot of ink. That's one of the reasons that I really like it, because you don't have to dip it as often. You can cover a lot of surface space, so it's really nice for that as well. And then you can see here, like, this was just the first thing that I sketched, and the line variation that you can get. So it's quite a beautiful and different thing. We will look at it a little bit more, but I did add a couple of inks to this collection. So I really love acrylic inks, which you can use in that dip pen, which you can't use in a fountain pen. So these are the two new additions. They are both Sennelier, and yeah, I really love that ink. And we are working in, this is the Chic Sparrow Travels notebook. It's an A6, and I have this little Apica notebook in here. So I really love these. It's basically more of a scratch pad, like just extra paper, you know, paper that you don't necessarily need to keep, but I like to keep it all in this one little book, and then I can kind of go back and refer to things if I need to. So I kind of make swatches or color notes, things like that. So you can see here a couple of pages where we have, I actually have already swatched some of the inks that we will talk about today. They're really some beautiful ones. And yeah, I just really like having a place. You always need scratch paper. You always need kind of somewhere just to try things out. And so I find that having this little notebook really works for that, and really kind of helps to keep all those papers together where they're, you know, and so if you do need to reference anything, you can. So yeah, but so today we are going to just swatch these two new Sennelier inks. So these are shellac based inks. They're not vegan, but and I love all the acrylic inks pretty much that I've tried. I really love these Sennelier ones. I love the FW ones, the Eco line. I think there might be another one, but yeah, they're all pretty nice inks. I especially love these Sennelier ones. They're a really beautiful consistency, and I don't know how to really explain it, but when you use the dip pen, they really glide off the dip pen very nicely, and they're sort of thick but not too thick, and I don't know how to explain it, but they are really lovely ink. So anyway, we're just kind of swatching the colors here. So the first one was Indigo, and then the second one, it was deep green. So I was actually looking for more of like a forest green, but I'll show you in a minute. This is pretty much the same color as the Neo color greenish blue. So it's more of like a green blue, more like a teal color. So I think if I mix like maybe a little bit of I don't know, I'm sure I can probably make it more of a green, but yeah, it's not exactly the color I was looking for, but it is still beautiful. And you can see here that I've mixed them both with white, and then I have diluted the brush with more water to get even a softer colour as well. So this is the colour that I was talking about, the Neo colour. And you'll see today later in the video we will use the Indigo ink for a bit of a painting as well. So these are really beautiful to incorporate with your watercolours. And yeah, this is also the Neo colour. I'm not sure which one it is, but I was thinking that the ink would be more along the lines of that colour. But anyway, you can see how beautiful and rich these colours are as well. So, and they do come with the pipettes and everything. So the other thing that I got is, this was for my mum. This is I think it was a limited edition Ferris wheel press. This is a fountain pen ink. So they're different from the acrylic inks. You can't use acrylic inks with fountain pens. And then I got the just a few little samples. So I really love the 2mm samples. You can try out, you know, different inks and see, you know, if you like the colours, but you can also use them in your art as well. So I got these ones from Vanness pens. So I'm just gonna kind of show you which colour it is, and then we're using, you can see like the dip pen in the process. What am I trying to say? You can, you know, you can see the dip pen being used here as well. So one of the things that I had heard Brittany mention about this pen is that it is quite back weighted, so the nib holder is very heavy. It's so aesthetic though. They do actually have a wooden version of it as well, which would be probably a lot easier to hold. But you can see that when I am trying to get this thicker line and trying to kind of colour in areas, that I'm holding it to the side, and then when I want a thinner, like a wisp of a line, you hold it more upright. So it's a little bit different to the regular dip pen that I use, in that one is, you change the pressure to flex the nib, which I really enjoy. So this one you can't, there's no, you know, give in the nib. So you have to change the angle of your hand, which will take a little bit of getting used to, but yeah. So, but yeah, you can see, like I thought, if for drawing, you know, you can kind of do these more blocks of colour, which is quite nice, and like how much ink the nib holds. So yeah, we'll see. I'll probably do like more of a video about this one and kind of in comparison to the other one in its own video. Okay, so this one is a Ferris wheel press ink, and I really love these ones just for the beauty of the box and the bottle. They're so lovely. So yeah, and you can see it is quite similar to the one that I just swatched above it as well. So I think that's a Robert Oster one. But yeah, so again, like, I love these inks. They're really nice to add line work over your watercolor as well. So yeah, I wanted to show you a couple of different ways to swatch them as well. So we have just kind of that really quick way to kind of get a feeling for what the ink looks like, and what it can do. And then I really love the vintage color charts of La Maison de Pastel. So they show sometimes some of their old pastel charts, and they're so beautiful. So I wanted to kind of create one of those, but for inks and watercolors. So I'll kind of show you a little bit how I did this one. So I kind of did the swatches, and then I have done sort of something on the side to kind of show the movement in water, and did a little bit of mixing and stuff. So the first thing that I did was just swatch them like this. So I would swatch them at full strength. Now this, you can swatch watercolors like this. You don't have to have inks, you don't have to do it like this, but you'll see on the page that I did some are watercolor. Then I just dipped it once in the water, and then I swatched it again at kind of half strength like that. So it's diluted with the water now, and you can kind of see the different values that you can get, and just this beautiful change to the color, to the mood. So you guys know that I love a good color chart and color mixing. So you can see here that I have done some inks. The second one down is watercolor, and then what I did in these squares is I just filled the square with water. So I'm just painting water in at this stage, and then I drop the color in there. So you can see how beautifully the ink just disperses, and you kind of get a different feeling of what you can do with that ink, how it's going to react on the page, and incorporating that in with your paints. So yeah, I really loved doing this. And then you'll see, like in this color chart, I use different colors. So I will drop the ink in, and then I kind of add extra colors. So you can see here, this is just a watercolor. So again, you can make this chart with watercolor. You don't have to have inks. This one here is the FW Shimmering Green. See the beautiful way that just shimmers onto the page. I absolutely love this. This is one of my all-time favorite inks. And I just added a little speck of watercolor in there, and you can see that didn't really move, which is interesting. So these are the kind of things that where you are learning about your materials, you're learning kind of what will react, what won't react, how it works together, how it will work with the water. And what's interesting is you're learning all these things, but it's just really enjoyable. Like, you're just really playing and enjoying that time. And then the other thing is, you do not have to do this, kind of elaborate color chart. I will show you a few pages as well where I just did this kind of thing, just with water on the page, and yeah, just using, the page in a much more like haphazard way, and it's still so beautiful. Okay, so you can see in here that I am integrating the watercolor with the inks, and I'm kind of just making these little boxes of color, thinking about little color combinations. And yeah, I think the left side was a bit more successful than the right side, but what I'll show you in the next thing is how I really actually love the way this last one here turned out. But what I will show you in another set of pages is how just you don't have to incorporate lots of colors as well. Like, I love that. Bloom like its own little flower. But you can just use the one color that you've already swatched as well. So okay, so here is a page. This one I actually did first. So this was just watercolor on the page, and then I was just dropping the ink in and then putting watercolor in the middle of the ink. And yeah, I was just really enjoying seeing the way that they interacted and things, and then I made the color chart. So this is definitely a way that you can do this. And again, you can just do this dropping watercolor into watercolor. You don't have to use inks as well. So, or like if you have like the gold Winsor and Newton ink, because I know I talk about that a lot, you could use the gold and then drop watercolor back in. So here's another one that I did next, and this was with the inks that we swatched before, so the little sample inks. So I really love how this page turned out as well. So I've first swatched them, and then I go back in, add the water to the squares, and then I just drop one drop of each color, just that color that I swatched into that square. So I didn't add other colors or sort of see how they were mixing. I just wanted to see, because they're fountain pen inks and they're different to acrylic inks, I just wanted to see what they would do themselves in the water. So like, I'm a little bit familiar with more the acrylic inks, and yeah, I just wanted to see what the fountain pen inks would do. And you can see how beautifully like they separate, and yeah, they have a really lovely quality when you use them in the water this way. And you can see here also, this is the Midori ruler, and I really love this. I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to make the chart as well. I just wanted to use the ruler. So yeah, but this, so we went from kind of that page of just swatching things to, I sat down and I wanted to actually make a background in my kind of plein air sketchbook that might be just kind of there available, like when I go out, where I could add a branch or a building or something on top of it. So I just sat down, and I didn't have any kind of preconceived thing of what I was going to create. That's just kind of what ended up happening. Like on this page, I just did a wash of a background, and then I ended up just sketching this deer sign, and then I painted the deer sign actually when I got home. So yeah, but it was quite nice to kind of have that background kind of already in place. So I'm going to show you how I created that, and it actually ended up kind of looking a little bit like a little abstract landscape. So yeah, we're going to create this one here together today. So I'm using a really large brush, and I'm just grabbing colours that I really wanted to have on the page. So it didn't really end up, I wasn't thinking landscape, I just was kind of gravitating toward colours that I enjoyed and kind of wanted on the page. So this one is the Creamer Incarnate #1, and it's kind of like my new version of the Chinabrese, which I really love. And then I've added the peach pop here, and so this kind of ended up being like more of a sunset sky gradient, then down to like grass and more greenery. So yeah, it's just a really nice way to kind of ease into watercolor, ease into kind of filling up a page as well. I know that that can be a little bit daunting, like filling the entire page, and also using watercolor in such a large space. So I've done it quite haphazardly, where I am not trying to get a smooth gradient, but you could also do this exercise by really working on creating a smooth gradient if that's what you're interested in. So this can become like a really useful thing to kind of do. And then so by the time I can't remember, something happened. By the time I was finishing this, the pages was a little bit almost dry, so I was just kind of looking for patches that were still quite wet, because you need that water to disperse the ink. So yeah, I found these just a few kind of little parts where I could put the I think it's the neon pink FW ink, and yeah, one of them there you can see end up looking like a little bird flying. So it's quite funny, because every time I do one of these, like the last one, it looked like there were like kind of kites in the sky. So yeah. And then again, I'm just using a variety of colors, so you can also use this as a mixing exercise and mix colors. I am using just a variety of pinks that are on my palette, and then a variety of greens, and kind of seeing how that kind of all works together. One of the things that I really like about this brush, and I think this is an Escoda Versatil number 20, I think it's, I'm not sure, but I will try and link it or list it below. But I like the fact that because the bristles are synthetic, they don't hold a lot of pigment, they don't hold a lot of water, so I'm not wasting a lot of paint, but I'm still able to, get enough like broad stroke on there to fill the page. And yeah, again, you can see that I'm just dropping in some of these inks here and there. Yeah. So again, this was really enjoyable. There are so many positives to doing some kind of what am I trying to say? Like an exercise like this. And I actually did this. I actually usually like to do these as more of a, after I've been painting something where I really have to concentrate, I really like to do something like this that's just a little bit more free flowing, and yeah, just allows you to kind of decompress and relax. Like sometimes I really am trying to work on paintings, but I wanted to show you here as well the little branches here. This is the type of thing that I was thinking maybe, or like sketching something just in graphite on location. So I was thinking, maybe to add something like that over the top of these kind of pages. Obviously I'll show you when I do that. I was also been using the little ink, little samples just as little tabs in my sketchbook. So I really love adding adding these kind of, like any little bits of extra paper that I've used for swatching. I really like adding those in the sketchbook as well. So this is actually the landscape that I was actually working on, and then I did the other ones which were just really enjoyable at the end of the day. But one of the things I really liked in this one, you can see this little cloud. So the other night at sunset we had this kind of peach coloured sky, and the clouds were grey, just wispy grey clouds, not white at all, they were quite an intense grey. So I actually added a little bit of the Wallace & Seymour Shimmer Iron Glimmer into the cloud, and on this page really nothing else is sparkling except for this little cloud. You just catch this little bit of sparkle, and I just really liked it. Okay, so one of the main kind of things that I really liked about this video is this book. So this is one of Turner's sketchbooks, and it's the Lucerne sketchbook. So it's from Switzerland. It's from this mountain, Mount Rigi in Switzerland. So you can see these beautiful just sketches that he's done on location. So he took this sketchbook with him, and yeah, they've printed it out. So in this book you can actually see, you'll see in a minute, like the front cover and yeah, all the parts of the sketchbook. So in the beginning here they have a little bit of an introduction, and they show some kind of very small pictures of some of his more detailed watercolors, which are so beautiful. I wish they had have kind of printed these in like a larger size so you could really see the difference between like the sketch and then the finished works. But yeah, I have really enjoyed this sketchbook, so I wanted to share it with you. You might be able to actually hear the rain. It's pouring rain here at the minute. So yeah, it's just a really stunning like visual way to see what he was recording on location, how he felt and what he was seeing, and then kind of see the finished works. So this one here is the front of his actual sketchbook, and then here we have a list of contents. So just the contents themselves are really beautiful. You have several sunrises, dusk, stormy weather, pink sky, one that says starlight inscribed as coming events cast their lights before them, and sky sparkling with stars. So really beautiful kind of imagery as well. And then shower and rainbow, mist and showers, pale sunlight, just really a grey sky. So just really beautiful. Already you're kind of getting this sense of those images, and then you just see him, you know, you can kind of imagine and picture him just very frantically, you know, trying to get some of these thoughts down and you know, elaborate a little bit on what he's seeing, creating some colour maps for himself for later. So just really lovely. And here it was interesting because there were 2 blank pages, and it says there were 14 blank pages in the middle of the sketchbook, which is how I really like to work, from the back and then from the front, and then yeah, there's usually like this middle, but it's a really nice way to work. But so yeah, you can see how beautiful, and the different kind of materials or the different colors that he's using. I'll show you a couple of my favorites here in a minute. You can just see like the fiery clouds and like the different colors in the lake. Like this one is so beautiful with the moonlight and the mountains kind of receding, and then this one here is so beautiful with kind of that like mauve or pinky sky. You see the little bits of the boats and the little bits of a rainbow. Yeah, so really interesting to kind of go a little bit into like his thought process. You know, like what he was paying attention to, the colours that he was using, and you can see like he was drawn to the same colours over and over, but he was combining them differently. So you get a different feeling and a different sense in every sketch. So it's really interesting to see the delicate way that he layers the watercolour, but there's strength there in the colours, and I think softness and strength always sort of go hand in hand. They you know, you sort of can't have one without the other. But yeah, so this is, so what I found, I looked up Mount Rigi, and there's actual cameras from the mountain to the views around it. So I'm showing you here some of the views, and I will link the camera below. So I have been, as you can see, I've been going back and kind of looking at these views at different times of day, different times of night. And obviously we're getting a different, you know, perspective than him for a couple of reasons. One, we're not looking at the mountain, we're looking away from it. Also, like all the lights, I mean, I don't think that it would have been this lit up. And yeah, but it's really beautiful. So you'll see in a minute that I have been painting just a couple of these, and we will kind of do one with some ink on the channel. But he had 18 sketches in his sketchbook. So what I thought we would do over the next month or so is I'm going to go back and keep kind of looking at this, at these cameras, and sketching some of the views, some of the different weathers, the different time of day. And I will probably do like 16 or 17 and then come back and do a video, and we'll do like the last couple, one or two together. So yeah, if you want to join me with that, you can feel free to click on the camera below, and then what we can do is a hashtag on Instagram, painting Mount Rigi, so I'll leave that below as well. And then you can upload your photos and tag them with that so that everyone can see kind of what we're doing. I am not that good. I mean, I'm struggling to get my videos done, so I don't know if I will upload any, but I'll definitely come back and show you. And I really love to kind of see, you know, you guys also enjoying the videos and stuff. So if you want to join, feel free to do that. Yeah, and I think it's just a really nice way to kind of get motivated and look at something several times from different angles and things. So so what we're going to do here is, this is the Arches Cotton Watercolor Sketchbook. So it's a beautiful quality. I really like this sketchbook, and I think I've had one with the pink cover before, but they don't stock that anymore, the hot press one. So what I did here is just the same thing I was doing with the inks before, and I have painted water onto the page, and then we are going to drop the ink in and just create a landscape. So that was the first painting that I did of the mountain, and then, or from the view from the mountain. And then there's a couple more here. So this was another one that I tried. What's really nice about it is the different formats. So if you have a long landscape journal, you can open that out and do like the entire aerial view around the mountain. And this one, I was kind of thinking about the stars in some of them. It's so bright and beautiful. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. It's kind of like having a painting party, a virtual painting party to the Swiss Alps. So I think it's just a really nice and inspiring kind of thing to do. So hopefully you enjoyed it as well. And I have been checking the thing every probably a couple of times a day, so it changes. I'm not sure how regularly the cameras change, but you do end up, like, I think the first time I was a little bit disappointed because it was all in cloud and then I couldn't really see anything, and then I came back later that day and there was just a beautiful horizon. So yeah, I'm just showing a little snippet of the shop update. So I have been trying to do videos, so for the last probably year I've been doing them every second Saturday, and I know a lot of you have wanted the weekly videos to come back, so I've been trying to do a longer video and then a shorter video in the week in between. So as you can see from the fact that today is Tuesday and I'm still trying to upload Saturday's video, it's sort of, it's a few days late. It's been a few days late, but I have been trying to do a weekly video. And I wanted to do the shop update this Saturday, and I have quite a bit of it done, but I am just not sure. So if I can't get the shop update done by Saturday, I've got a really nice little video that I will post at 10 a.m. Saturday morning. If that's not up there, then I will be trying to get the shop update organised for later on in the afternoon. So you can see here's a few of the things, and yeah, it's just going to be a smaller shop update. And if you do, and then these were the things we baked for Father's Day. So we baked a key lime pie and a pavlova. But if you, let's see, yeah, so the shop update. So I will try and, let you know as I know more about when that's finished. I apologise, I just can't get everything. It seems is just taking a little bit longer. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you have a lovely week, and join me on the Swiss Alps, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.